Hi people, today I'm going to talk about a book that's a very hard one to talk about because there's lots of things that you can unpack on this one, and it's an amazing book. I'm talking about Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang, and this book, it's like everything. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things in here. We are going to be following the story of two girls, Athena Liu. It's a writer of Asian heritage, and she is a very well-known and well-beloved writer. And she, at the very beginning of the book, the story is going to be narrated by this other girl called June Hayward, and she's going to be telling us how she's meeting with Athena and how she kind of likes, but not really, Athena, because she wants to be where the other one is. But she thinks publishing, it's cuddling and pampering to BIPOC authors. So white authors have kind of been relegated, and she's very jealous of Athena. And I think June, it's like this unbelievable narrator, because you see Athena from her eyes, and Athena is pictured as this love character who sometimes decides that she wants to hang out with June, but it's like, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You have to read it because you get the feeling that Athena is like this bad character who wants to rob her exits and her accomplishments. Exits, that's not an English word. She wants to rub her accomplishments into June's face, and at the very beginning of the book, something is going to happen, and Athena is going to end up dead. It's an accident, but what happens next isn't. June is going to steal the manuscript of the book that Athena was going to publish, and she's going to decide, I deserve it. I'm going to make some minor changes, and I'm going to publish it under my name. And here's the deal. Athena, as a person of Asian heritage, was telling things from the perspective of the people that have told her things, her family, and she was, studying the things that surrounded the things that she talked about in her books, and she wanted to obviously visualize these characters who had suffered injustices and all of this. But June thinks that Athena, it's like, not telling exactly the true story. So when she gets a deal to publish the book, she begins to embellish some parts. And yeah, I mean, that's, because you are erasing the story in favor of white supremacy. And this is not how it works. But to make things even worse, as the book has this potential, it's a very Asian book, they decided that June Hayward, it's not a name, that you can relate with these kind of things. You have to be a person of color to explain these kind of stories. Because if not, they say that it's appropriation, and that's not right. Following the book, I don't agree with all of this. But so they decided to change her name to Song, June Song, because it sounds Asian, and so she can say that she's Asian. She's not going to say she's Asian, but she's not going to say that she isn't. She's called Song because she's called Song. It's the middle name that her mom gave her. But hey, if people see her name and think that she's Asian, she's not lying, right? It's the people who's assuming. So yeah, she's like, you want to strangle her. Like at every page, everything that she does, everything that she says, it's like, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, because I mean, it really makes you look at plagiarism, at racism, at white privilege, about the fact that there is all these spots for white publishing, so to speak, and there's people of color, queer people that are trying to have their place in the industry, and then you have this white people backlash. And June here, she feels like she's entitled to this. She's entitled to have this story even if it's not hers, because she thinks that she's doing it a favor. She made the story of Athena into something better, all because she cut some pages on something that she wasn't, that she didn't like. And when there is going to be backlash, because it's going to be backlash, because this book also talks about, as I say, plagiarism, racism, stealing each other people's ideas, trying to whitewash things or present yourself as if you are one of the members of, the BIPOC when you aren't, and believing that you have this entitlement just because you are white. And if people assume things, it's a fault, not yours. But also, we are going to be having a look inside what's publishing, how it works in different, strata. You're going to learn about agents, about publishing homes, about the key to success, about the influence of the media, about how to promote your book, about going to places, talking about your book, answering questions. And also, it talks about reviewers in YouTube, in Goodreads, in Twitter, and how readers can help cancel some author because they did something wrong, or they can help them being a success. There's going to be lots of very interesting things in this book, but I did love everything, and I completely hate June. I mean, she tries to worm her logic into your brain, and you're reading it, and you're like, yuck! And I do love what Rebecca Kuang did here, how she presents this character and makes you think about all these things that I have previously said about, expropriation and plagiarism and racism, and try to steal the spot of another person, and how it kind of haunts this character, this June, and you think, she's going to change. No, don't fool yourself. She's an amazing character in how well she represents all of the things that I just mentioned, about how unbelievable she is as a narrator, and how this book makes you reflect a lot about injustices and white supremacism, and how the publishing industry works. I mean, as an outsider, it was very revealing to know certain things, and also the presence of Book Twitter and Goodreads and all of this. As a reviewer, you can kind of identify with certain things that I explain in this book. And entitlement. Also, it talks about entitlement, about people who think they deserve things just because. I mean, this is an amazing book, and I do recommend it a lot. And I have to say, I love this edition, and with this I'm ending, because you have it here in the eyes, but I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I love when covers have details like this. Yeah, I mean, if you like Rebecca F. Kuang, you're going to love this one. It's amazing, it's very brave, it's very cheeky, and I did love this one. So, thank you for watching. Bye!